Well, it's official. I'm not gonna tune my Z06. And maybe you shouldn't either. Let's talk about it. Me saying I'm not gonna tune my Corvette C8 Z06 is pretty funny considering the fact of the last video I just posted. You guys saw that I purchased the intake from Haltech. I have headers from Concept 841 in my garage, and I have exhaust on the way also from Concept 841. So why in the heck am I gonna put intake, headers, and exhaust and not tune the car?
55 horsepower costs over $10,000 and you get a voided factory warranty. Welcome to the C8 Corvette world. Now, right now, I'm specifically talking about the Z06, but to be completely honest, this is going to be about the same for a Stingray. So let me break this down. If you had a Haltech cold air intake at $800, 91mm throttle bodies at $880, catalytic converters, $3,100, headers, $2,900, exhaust, $2,000, HB tuners unlock, $1,500, the credits you need, $500, and assuming you're not local to your tuner, $300 for a remote tuning device. So you're at $10,209 with a voided warranty with a projection of about 45 to 55 wheel horsepower when you switch to E85 fuel, and not everybody has E85 fuel. So if you don't have it, you're not even going to get those numbers.
Corey from Paragon Performance actually made that clip, and it really got me to thinking about how I wanted to message this, because that's exactly how I was feeling. You tune this car, you're going to pick up an additional what seems to be up to 30 wheel horsepower. 30 wheel horsepower is a lot out of NA, but it's pretty standard on what you get out of NA tuned vehicles, especially when you add E85. Now, I have plenty E85 because I stock it up for that car. That car runs on E85 and 93, but when I race E85, so I got plenty of it. That's not my issue. My issue is this is a 2026 with 1,100 miles on it. I haven't even gotten my first oil change or my first DCT fluid change yet in this car. So what risk am I running by potentially tuning this car when I install those mods, and what's the difference? So when I install the mods that I'm going to add, I have no problem taking it to the right dealer and getting my first oil change or doing my first DCT service on this vehicle, because when they plug in the OBD2 port and they do a read on this vehicle, they're going to see the stock file. They're also going to see no check engine lights because, again, I'm also not going catless for similar reasons. Now, in full transparency, it also could have a lot to do with the fact that I own that car. And that car next week, when we go to the track, should run into the 8.6 to 8.8 quarter mile second range. So maybe that could be why, too, that itch is already being scratched with this one. But if I only own this one, still would I tune it? And the other reality that I have is I also own this car. And this car makes it painfully apparent that I should not tune this one. Why does that even make sense? This BMW XM 2025 is a label red. It is BMW's most powerful vehicle that they have ever produced in an M vehicle with 738 horsepower. And yes, it is plugging up charging right now. Is it an EV? For those that don't know these cars, no. What this car is a hybrid. It has a V8 twin turbo engine along with a hybrid assisted drivetrain, bringing it to that 738 horsepower. Is this truck faster than my Z06? No, it's not, because it weighs a ton, and this is the lightest version of a Z06 that they make. But that's not the point. The point is, it's a twin turbo V8, meaning that I can literally go on JB4 or burgertuning.com, grab a JB4 for this car, and for $700, and I think $800 if you do the phone app along with it, you can plug that in, and this particular car right here will pick up 150 wheel horsepower. It'll pick up 150 wheel horsepower from just a piggyback being added to it, which I can remove before going to the dealer not voiding my warranty. Similarly, if you do a tune only on this boosted car as well, supercharged V8 is how it came. This car is no longer supercharged. It is now twin turbo. But the point is, when I got this car, you do a tune only, literally no hardware changes, and you're going to pick up 50 wheel horsepower from nothing but a tune. But if you go in there and you just change the pulley, that's all you got to do. Not even change the pulley. Add a lower dampener sleeve to this car to pick up 2 pounds of boost. And literally for the cost of an unlock, a tune, and the credits from HP Tuners or the tuner from Diablo Sport, I can pick up 100 wheel horsepower with just that sleeve and a tune. Which makes it painfully apparent that it makes absolutely no sense for me to tune this car to pick up 30 wheel horsepower for what? For what? And void the warranty on an engine. Just the engine in this car is, no lie, the replacement cost of that whole car. Just the engine in this car. This is a 2015 Hellcat. 2015 Hellcats today on the market, minus the wide body conversion that I did in all the mods. Just a stock 2015 Hellcat is about $45,000, $50,000. That is the cost of just this. And here's the real caveat. It's not like these engines haven't had random failures. No fault of no one. Not that anybody was doing anything wrong. Random. They have had failures. So it's not like it's this bulletproof thing that never fails that now you're voiding the warranty on. What would change it? And what would make this car worth tuning? The only thing that would make sense, that would make this car worth tuning, is if you want to add forced induction. And the best way to add forced induction to this car is to stick 2 turbos hanging off the headers out the back of it. That is the only way that I could see it potentially being worth tuning this car. And then we run into the issue of cost for that. The cheapest twin turbo kit starter are available are on average $30,000 before installation from any of the brand names that you would trust. That includes the Boost District. That includes Pike's Performance at $35,000 for their Bravo Light kit. That includes any other one that you can think of once ECS actually makes theirs, right? So that's the price, $30,000. Bruh. And for that $30,000, how fast is it going to be? I know it'll blow the doors off of that, right? Absolutely not. Granted, this car has way more than 30,000 in it. For that $30,000, then you got to add installation. Installed, you're going to come in somewhere around $35,000, $36,000. And then it'll definitely blow the doors off of everything on the street, right? Or at least it'll be the stock ZR1, right? Absolutely not. To make the power that will be necessary to be the stock ZR1 in this car is going to have to make at least 1,100 wheel horsepower. And the reason why is because the ZR1 is dialed in from the factory to be as fast as it is, whereas the aftermarket, you're going to need some more because you're working around things. You need a pressure clutch controller. You need to dial it in as much as you can, doing torque limitations so it'll make the shift and not slip the clutches. There's just so many ways to go wrong with tuning for the aftermarket for one of these cars. So again, up to you. Is it worth it? Not really sure. As long as ZR1s are over sticker and you're okay with having 700 wheel horsepower, maybe 750 wheel horsepower, cool. 750 wheel, this thing will move really well. It might dip into the high 5, 60 to 130, maybe, and it'll run quarter mile, probably about a 9.6, 9.7, somewhere in that range. And if you're cool with that, dope. But just don't let a BMW with a tune and downpipe roll up next to you, because you in trouble. At $35,000, $36,000 installed, that's a hard pass for me as well. But what changes that math and then potentially makes it worth it? Maybe you don't have a 2026 brand new with 1,100 miles on it. Maybe you've had your car for 2 years already, or maybe you just purchased a 2023 or 2024 Z06 that already has, 10, 15, 20,000 miles on it. Chances are that motor is straight and not going to fail. Cool. You got the car for 105, 102, but under 110 you got the car for. So most of the depreciation is out of the car. Maybe it's worth it to you, but still, if you got the car for 105 grand, you're not looking to spend, 30% of it trying to turbo it, right? So when someone comes out with a solution that is about $20,000 installed and makes that same 700 to 750 with the sounds of this car matched with turbos, it is going to be amazing. And at that point, and only then, would I see it being worth it to tune it for me. But some of your money is a lot longer than mine, so I can't say what works for you. That being said, we are going to take this car to the track and see what it runs in the quarter mile next week. We're going to take both cars, this one and this one. Cecil County Dragway is having their opening Friday night for a car street night, and then Saturday test and tune. I'm going to do both nights with both cars. So if you're in that area, come on down, say hi, come see the cars in person, see them running. I want to see what this car does bone stock before I install anything. I am going to run an E30 mixture. My guess is that the car should do anywhere from a 10.2 to a 10.4, which is impressive. Another reason why, to me, it wouldn't be worth tuning, because maybe it runs a 10.0. 30 wheel horsepower, you ain't going to pick up that much. So for me, that's why it probably wouldn't be worth tuning it. But make sure you come on by, say hi. If you're in that area, should be a lot of fun. Like I said, we'll be there both nights running both cars. This car, Friday night, we're going to run it, letting off at the 1,000 foot. Should be in the mid 9s, letting off at the 1,000 foot, 9.3, 9.4, somewhere around there. The next day, Saturday, I do not have a cage or parachute in that car. So I'm probably going to run it hard to the 8th mile, letting off at the 8th. I don't want to get kicked out. And then on my last pass, before I get kicked out, we send it and we bury this thing deep into the 8s, just so that I have a time slip. But I won't be able to go back to Cecil for a while after that. In the end, it's your car. Do what's best for you. Maybe you got more money than me or more risk tolerance than I do. But that being said, stock tune is how this thing is staying. But I can't wait to install the parts. But first, we got to run and see what it does, because I'm the type of person, I need to see if the parts really added power. And for me, dynos don't do it. It has to be based off of a time slip or a draggy for me. So anyway, it's your boy Stephen here from Mod to Fame. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss no more videos going forward. But from here, inside the 2026 C8 Z06, we out. We out.